This episode is brought to you by the Let's Catchup podcast, hosted by Jay
and Kay.
We are a husband and wife team that tackles a different topic every single Friday,
ranging from true crime to games and everything in between.
And we have a laugh while we do it.
So if you want to catch up with us,
you can do so on all major platforms, including YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. So join us every Friday on the Let's Catch Up podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Friendship and Stupidity podcast. This episode we're going to do something a little different. I know we all enjoy whenever we play games on here, and something that we really continue to do is we never know what we're going to talk about. And
Absolutely.
Isaac brought up something really funny today, which today is It's interesting because we just recorded another episode right before this.
Yes, don't look too much into what we're wearing. But we had to, due to both of us having some trips coming up, we had to do a couple recordings in a row. And also at the same time too, we don't even have our producer here to make stuff look nice. So if it looks shitty, we'll make sure to blame her.
Yep.
So
that is Andy's roommate. For context.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure to blame her.
Yep. She didn't have the change of clothes for either of us. So
we're blaming on her, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the idea of this episode or this game is we're going to go into the log of episodes that we've made, over I think 70 at this point, which is crazy. I'll have to count them up because we should do something for 100.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. So we're looking at either like Spotify or whatever it is, and we're just reading the title.
Yes.
And we're going to try to describe what that episode was about.
If we can even figure it out. Because I have two doozies right off the rip, Andy. And honest to God, it took me reading it, and then it made me laugh even harder after reading the description because, I was like, I don't remember some of these. Some of them, they come up, and I'm like, okay, I remember this. Obviously, I don't remember everything.
I'm just reading a few of them myself.
Oh, yeah, they're wild. But, I remember some of them. Some of them are pretty easy, I see one, Isaac sees a UFO. I wonder what the fuck that's about. But we want to choose some of the ones, the more odd ones. So we don't really have any sort of way of. We really didn't talk about how we were going to do this, so we're just kind of making this up as we go. But we thought it was pretty funny. So do you want me to go first? And
yeah,
absolutely. Do we want to go? I go and then you go.
Yeah, we'll
so
go.
So we're not all one person's getting some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to. I'm going to try to both pay attention, but then also
search for yours.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So the first one that I have up, it's a pretty early episode. Should we say what episode it is too?
Yeah.
Okay, just in case people want to go back and listen.
Yeah.
First off, don't go back and listen to the first 5. With that
being should we say what they are so they can listen? Also, don't listen.
Look, the first few were a little rough. Yeah. I'm not saying that the ones now are any better, but they at least sound better. So the first one we have up, Andy, is the title is just this. Isaac hears a clap.
I saw that one too. I have no idea what that one's about. Oh my god. I have an idea of what the title, why the title is what it is.
Uh-huh.
But I think this is why we might have to go into the description a little bit.
Absolutely. Which, for those who don't know, Andy writes all the descriptions. Andy does every piece of editing that you see. And for the longest time, do you still do it where you write these long descriptions?
I don't write as long as a description anymore. I think I do a little bit more for the Instagram post though.
Okay. So Andy was doing that for both of them, but this is so do you have any idea?
Well, so the title, which it's funny, now I try to make the title at least something that's at least something we talked about. Back then, it was just like something you said that I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And for this, it was because you could never hear my clap. Whenever I did a clap sync.
Okay.
But other than that, no clue. No idea what we
That's so funny because I just realized what we're doing, Andy. We're technically doing a clip show almost.
Yeah.
Pretty much like of what TVs do clip shows. So I'm sure that is exactly what happened where I actually heard it. But the description, and I'll give a quick rundown of the description, is it's stupid. In this episode, Eric and Eric relive their memories of Memorial Day 2022. Why the fuck did we call ourselves Eric? I don't remember. And then it also says Isaac confesses his obsession with the words other than conduit. So apparently I said other words that really fucking get me going. You confront me about my spelling mistakes. We introduce Instagram. Apparently our cats are better hosts than us. Apparently we talk about different universes. And that's pretty much like the quick gist of what the episode was.
Okay.
Which I don't remember my other words.
I don't remember your other words either.
But I do know about my spelling mistakes.
Yeah, I think the I'm gonna assume that with the Eric and Eric, and I'm looking at the description now, it's even Eric is spelled wrong. It's ERICH.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that the description is just alluding to that, the fact that like I'm assuming you called me Eric. You texted me and you called me Eric on accident or something.
Yeah.
And then what was the other part with our cats being hosts? I think we could just hear the cats.
That's most likely, yeah, because that would have been at the time where we were recording over. I mean, you were still in Cleveland at that time, yeah. So that had to be it. But yeah, wild shit. I was like, I have no fucking clue. But I have my next one locked in. But Andy, you're up. So what episode am I gonna have to try to figure out? And I guarantee we're gonna pick some of the same ones. Yeah,
and I know that I feel like there's a few that.
There's a few that are obvious, but I still think like even those obvious ones, like I might even say a few obvious ones just to see if we could really think about what all we talked about.
Okay. Episode 29. Your mom.
Oh, fuck.
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
What? Oh my god. What could have we talked about? Your mom. So you know what the crazy thing is? I don't think it was actually about our moms. Either of our moms.
No, I don't think so either. No, because we just got to the point where my roommate's mom is listening to the podcast.
Yes, there's no way. Maybe, you know what? I'll take a shot just in the dark right now. I will say it is about how we discussed about how our parents should not watch the podcast and how they should not listen to it. That's my guess. Other than that, I have no fucking clue. Okay, well, it's not even anywhere near it, is it?
Well,
we had,
we had to have talked about like someone's mom at some point. I think part of it was, I did a poll on Instagram and someone answered your mom, but. Wait, okay, go ahead. You
No, this is I'm remembering this.
And I just remembered whenever you just gasped that you and I think maybe Sam had texted me and just like said your mom whenever I asked a question. And I was just like, I got that text and I was like, okay, I guess Isaac, like, because it was like, when are we gonna do the podcast this week? And you said your mom, and then I was like, okay, I guess Isaac doesn't want to do the podcast anymore. Here we are, fucking 50 episodes later. And like the same thing, texted Sam. He did the same exact thing.
Yes.
And then I went on Instagram and I looked at a response and it said your mom. And I said, what the fuck is going on here?
Yes, that's incredible. I forgot all about this.
The reason I lost my mind when I read the description was today we're talking all about your mom. You'll get it eventually. We also take a tour through a house that Isaac and his wife are planning on buying.
Oh my God, Ghost House! Yeah. Oh my God.
Wait, was it Ghost House? No, this was the one where the stairs were the pencil sharpener.
They had a pencil sharpener on the wall.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, dude, it's the one that was I call it Ghost House because it was just a really old house. Okay. But it had that really jacked up staircase, which was literally a 90-degree angle. And it had a cutout in the wall where like a rotary phone was, but it was a pencil sharpener there. And I told Shannon, I'm like, oh, my roommate. I told I told her, I was like, we absolutely need to buy this place just for the pencil sharpener. And she said, we could put a pencil sharpener on any wall in any house we buy. And I said, but it's already here. Wow. Oh my God. I forgot all about that.
Oh my God, that was so good.
That's actually making my cheeks hurt from smiling so much. That's really funny. This one, this one's ridiculous. All right, you ready for this one?
Sure.
I'm in a music video right now.
I was going to say this one, but I thought for sure you knew this one.
No.
I don't remember like the full context, but you were talking about what happens when you start thinking about things for too long. Like you were thinking about the dripping water, and it just kept going. Okay, and then like it had like a beat to it. And then
I was making a music video in my head. That's actually really good. The description, though, says otherwise. So, based on the description, it was Andy calls out Isaac for having shitty internet connection, and I retell my warlike experiences with the flu. So it must have been whenever I was super sick that one time. Oh yeah. And then it says, and then we step into the world of a music video. So yeah, it must have been that. But wow, yeah, I forgot all about that, but I described that to somebody not too long ago, actually.
I hate that I'm actually remembering a lot of these as I'm like looking over them.
I don't remember this one. I'm talking about it though. So all right, what do you got for me?
If I remember too many of them, is it okay if I just ask you what what you think they are?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I'm gonna say some that are like ones that we should know, just to like.
Okay. Well, the music video one, I thought for sure. Like I skipped over that one because I thought for sure that
didn't even cross my mind.
Well, then I'm gonna do this one because I think this was a pretty big moment in the podcast. So it's episode 36, and I do remember this one. Planning gone wrong.
Planning gone wrong. Interesting. I mean, it has to be something with like planning out the actual episode for the podcast. Like, it had to be that, or I'm going to take a shot in the dark. Is this when we had our first guest?
This is when we had our first guest.
Yeah!
Wow. Wow, that's impressive.
Now, my only reasoning for that was planning gone wrong was like, I know we tried to do it 1 week, and it just didn't fucking work. Yeah. Like, we just never asked, or like, we just never did it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think one week there was like there was like internet issues between one of us, probably you.
Yeah. But I other than that, but I don't know why we would have put planning gone wrong though. I don't know what
that was actually. I remember Joe was the one who said that. He said this. He went through a whole monologue at the very beginning of the episode, and he said honestly other than this episode, like the whole experience that like what we were going to talk about on that episode, just like it kept going wrong.
Yeah.
So
that adds up.
I feel like I've probably talked about it, and we won't talk about it here because this isn't really like an official episode. But I feel like my family just has, like, between me, my brother, and my mom, things just fucking happen to them that don't happen to normal people.
Yeah.
But I'll I'll read the description, and it's kind of a long one. After many weeks of anticipation, we finally have our first Joe on the podcast.
Yes.
So hosts are not hosts, they're Joes.
Yeah, they're Joes. Yes, that's right. I forgot all about that because we're guests, technically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Through every obstacle set in his path, Joe finally prevails and makes his debut. Joe takes the reins from the start, and we go through his and Andy's matching tattoo. No story ever finishes without a few interruptions, though. Joe denies the existence of aliens and confirms Isaac has ADHD. Andy shaves his feet. Dolph Lundgren enters the chat, and Isaac gaslights Andy.
Is that the episode 2 that we talked about me having flat feet?
No,
that was a different one?
Yeah, I don't know when it was, but I know it was a different episode.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. We must have went on I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that episode because I don't know what the hell we talked about. Because I truly don't know. So let's see. All right. I know exactly what that one's about. Okay. This is another one. Without reading the description, I don't know what the fuck this title's about.
Okay.
Inchworm Bandits. Do you remember that? What the fuck is that?
Don't know anything about the episode. But I know what the Inchworm Bandits are.
Okay.
The Inchworm Bandits, and this was when our producer used to be our social media manager, and she created a bomb-ass Instagram post or like thumbnail for this episode. It's a picture. So the Inchworm Bandits are they're like a bunch of robbers that got caught by the police on video camera in some store.
Yes.
And they're crawling around like inchworms.
Yes. And I remember now the post was them
on a vinyl.
Yes.
Yeah. And I thought it was so cool.
Yes, I do remember that now. Oh my God. Well, so for this one, it says, let's see, another off-schedule podcast episode. So we must have, I mean, even now we're still not on a good schedule. Isaac has returned from the void. I don't know what the fuck that. Yeah. Okay. This is in case you were keeping tabs on him. The idiots talk about potential crime, multiple car crash stories, and the most prolific criminals caught on camera.
I just remembered, and my Slack just went off, so I didn't turn those notifications off. I just remembered from that description that I was driving home with my roommate from somewhere, and did we see this? Yeah, there was a car that just ran a red light right in front of us, and we still had to follow them, we still had to go in the direction that they were heading, and they did it right in front of a cop, and we were and they didn't have a license plate either. And we're just thinking, oh, we're about to see some shit go down. And then nothing happened, and I just was what was that about? And my roommate explained is that it was 10 or 10:30 at night, and she said it's probably just too much paperwork for that person, that cop to worry about.
But I must have told my story about the people we saw on the roundabout going, and we almost got wrecked into by a cop car.
I don't remember that.
Oh, well, there you go. We can chalk it up to another story.
Yeah, that's a new episode.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, sorry if we've already talked about it, but that's something we're adding to the board. Go ahead. Producer, go ahead and add that to the list. All right, so now it's on you. What do you got for me?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so I'm getting towards the episodes where we started doing like in person. So let me move backwards a little bit. Do you remember? I don't remember this one. I remember. I remember the like
The Titans.
I remember the like the Instagram post that I made for this. It's episode 42, Blissful Ignorance.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Oh my.
This is like this for sure. Like all I remember is the picture that I made for this was of Calvin and Hobbes.
Blissful Ignorance.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Calvin and Hobbes.
I don't think Calvin and Hobbes had anything to do with it. I think it just like happened to be a picture that I found.
Okay. Blissful Ignorance. I wonder.
We must have like, we must have just been like, just didn't know what we were talking about. But like we were talking about something, but it was just like completely not correct.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, does the description of the episode give us anything? Because I'm trying to think of something that like we're just like ignorant about, or like just maybe like that we just don't pay attention whenever we're playing video games or something.
Let's see. Like we have a new schedule just from. I think this was whenever I was getting to the point where, we were when I was moving, so we went down to one episode per week. Yeah, okay. In this episode, Andy and Isaac discuss their moms and your mom. So we're talking about moms more, apparently. There is a large gap between what is sweet and wholesome to drunk and disorderly. Okay, so it's.
This is not helping. This is not helping.
And I say we currently land somewhere in between. And then by the end of the episode, our heroes are in tears. I want to listen to this episode.
What the fuck did we talk about? My only thought is that in this episode we talked about how we did stupid shit, and our parents would rather not hear about it, because it's one of those things where it's like rather just not hear about it and know that it never happened and just live in ignorant, like just like literally do not know about it.
I think
after that description, that had to be it. But I'm in the same boat. I want to listen to that one.
Yeah,
I have no fucking clue.
I just like the there's a difference between drunk and disorderly and sweet and wholesome, and we land somewhere in between.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, like yours is that's actually. I feel like we've definitely talked about that off the podcast, so we had to have talked about it on the podcast too. Of just like our parents are just like, we don't know what they do. We'd rather keep it that way.
It has.
But the drunk and disorderly, like, it had to have been also just like what we've done when we were drunk. I can't think.
Right? I don't know, man.
That one stumped me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't know. Oh God, I don't know, man. It's. I can find it. Let's see. Here we go. This one, I'm gonna try to do a doozy on you.
Okay.
Holding back tears.
I saw that one. No idea.
I actually knew what this one was.
Oh, you do?
I knew what this one was. I read the description and I was like, that's exactly what I thought it was.
Oh, so you knew it before even...
I saw the title and I said, I'm pretty sure this is what this is.
Was it... Oh, man. I mean, obviously, it's like one of us or both of us are just like, are laughing our asses off.
Mm-hmm.
Holding back tears. I have no idea. That could be anything.
It could be a lot of our episodes, but you're going to be so annoyed with yourself.
Do it like line by line or something.
I'll read the whole description out for you.
Okay.
Ready? Andy and Isaac talk about the last episode recorded in their current studio, air quotes, sexology, almost shitting themselves, Andy fart influence, and more. So you gotta know exactly what it is now. Right?
Well, this is what I thought it was. Yeah, I was like, because I was like, did I make multiple episodes with that name?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it was the last episode in your old apartment, mm-hmm. and I we had just eaten, and we were standing there because we didn't have chairs, and we had to shit so bad, and we kept talking about how we might have to take a break to go shit.
The funniest part is we talked about that before we even got to the episode because we were all starving so much that we were like, both us and our roommates, we were like, we need to eat some food before we do anything. And we all, look, I don't know about we all, but me and you, for sure, we got into the room and we said, we gotta shit. And I remember both of us saying, honestly, dude, if you gotta leave to take a shit, I'm right there. I'm gonna have to take a shit too. I
remember, I can't remember how the episode ended, but I remember I was on the ground because I was laughing. I had to,
I don't remember what we finished it off with, but we laughed so hard that we then started saying, I'm gonna shit myself. And then I walked off. I walked off because I said, no, I'm actually gonna shit.
I'm out of here.
And I walked off. I do remember that. I remember the video didn't even stop yet, and I was like, dude, I gotta poop.
And you said something on there that I completely forgot about, that I recently thought about, but just didn't think about it in a friendship and stupidity connection. You mentioned the fart, that I record my farts, and I never talked about it. I've never talked about it.
Did you not?
I mentioned it. I mentioned it on that episode, and
producer, go ahead and add that one to the list.
Yep. And is it too weird for us to release a compilation of my farts?
I think that's a discussion we need to have with our producer.
Yeah, I agree.
Before we go any further, and before we
for sure.
release too much information on this, Andy.
Yeah. So strike that from your ears. I'm not going to strike it from the recording.
Yeah.
I have another one. I think this one. Oh man.
Do we got a few more in us, or?
Yeah. I think.
One more after you're done.
Yeah. I think after I'm done, I think you've got one.
Got one, and then you can finish it off.
Yeah. I mean, I can. Yeah.
We'll be on an even amount. All right.
Okay.
Hit me with something good.
Okay.
Gosh.
I remember this one. I don't know if I want to go with that one. If that one's gonna be the. Man, they're like, it's hard because I want to go with one that we both don't really know. I feel like I should have saved the blissful ignorance for last, honestly. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with episode 40, elementary school Rizz.
What? What the fuck?
I remember. I remember this one. So we'll.
Dude, my only thought is, it was talking about when we were younger in school and we had to do something with Valentine's Day.
You're not far off. Yeah.
But I don't remember what we would have talked about. And sorry, I'm scrolling to look for mine. But other than that, I really don't know.
Yeah, so this one, I remember at the end of the episode, we said we could have a whole entire season or a catalog of things that we did in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just how it kicked off. There's nothing bad in this. So I know that you kind of were like, oh my God, what the fuck? See, is this a story about little kids being hot?
God, Jesus, you can't say that.
So the description, I said it while we were laughing, so no one really knows what I said.
Mm-hmm.
On this episode of the podcast, we talk about the best ways to end a conversation. Interesting. Isaac takes a golden opportunity to gaslight Andy. So that's a common thread.
Yeah, that's actually another title for an episode.
Yeah. People in Ohio are dumb. Should we make our own dictionary?
What?
We should have just read the descriptions.
We should have made our own dictionary. does that mean?
I don't know if this is before or after the episode where we talk about making instruction manual for recipes, like for food, or
I know that one is. That's so stupid. Instruction. But no, I mean, I know that one is the title of one, but I don't remember anything from that description. That was wild to me.
That's what I'm saying. We should have just read the descriptions and then try to guess what was going on.
Honestly, yeah.
Because I remember, if
now
I
we know next time.
Yeah, like if I wouldn't have read the episode title, then I would have known nothing about what this episode was about.
That's really funny, actually, trying to guess the episode title after that.
Yeah.
We're definitely good. Producer, go ahead and add that.
Well, yeah, no, it's like we're gonna have to have our producer compile all of these. Yeah.
All right. So my last one, I'm feeling that would be a tough one, actually. Okay. I'm looking at some ones right now. That's so stupid. This one, I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
This one's gonna be a tough one. Off the rails.
That could be any episode for sure.
Yeah.
That's an early episode, isn't it?
It is.
That's like episode 5 for sure.
Wow, that's exactly what it is.
I only know that because I was, I was just looking and I knew that was an early one. I feel like we got off the rails quick of like what we were like intended to talk about. Mm-hmm. This was still back in the time where you shouldn't be listening to the podcast.
For sure. Maybe episode 5 was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I even thought that like episode 2 I felt better about. Definitely not like one to recommend.
Yeah.
But I felt like, I mean, for sure episode 1 was like where I was like, no, this is like, I'm being way too robotic.
That was when you had your list.
I had my list. We talked about Jack of all trades.
I forgot about that. You went and described literally Jack of all trades to a T, and you're like, I don't know why it's called that. And I was like,
yeah, and then you were like, are you sure you don't understand? And then we're just describing the first episode at this point.
Literally.
Episode 5, Off the Rails. Yeah. This wasn't when we talked about your first party experience, was it?
No.
Okay. That's the only thing. Like I was just thinking that maybe we just started talking about something and then you started telling your story about, or maybe you were pissing out the window. I don't know.
I'll give you the rundown. First, it says dumb and stupid, so that must have been what we were going by. Jury's still out of who's dumb and who's stupid. Go truly off the rails with no return in sight. A lot is discussed about what we're going to do to the future of the show. So that adds up. We'd still do that now. What is the worst beer? So we must have talked. I don't remember where we even landed on that.
We must have talked about Arrogant Bastard.
That is very true.
Maybe was this an episode where we maybe were? Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe we like cracked open a beer to start off the episode. I can't remember.
We might have. We haven't done that in a while, actually.
Well, you did it a couple weeks ago, so yeah.
If we would have read off that title, I would have remembered that. But the last thing to add for that, or two more things, it says, is this the best episode that we've done for the podcast? And the other thing was, is Isaac a freak for pissing out the window?
Oh, that's awesome.
So you did know one part about it. That's pretty funny.
Oh, is this the best episode so far? I want to listen to that one now.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that I think that would actually be funny to go back and listen to after going to this.
Okay, so for the last one, I think this one's just like one of my favorite titles and my favorite descriptions.
Actually, I have something to talk about after the podcast. Remind me.
Okay.
But sorry, go ahead.
All right. So this is episode 41. So the next episode after the last one I said, episode 41, War Never Changes.
Oh fuck. Well, I know the reference.
Yeah.
I know the reference, but War Never Changes.
This is probably one of my favorite. It's like it's a you episode. Like it's like you I think you just accidentally brought this topic up, or maybe it just happened. Like I maybe mentioned it, and then you went off the rails on it. That's another episode.
That's a callback right there.
But it's one of my like I think I enjoyed listening. Like I could have just let you go for the whole entire episode, and I think you probably still can talk about this topic for like hours.
I'm gonna take a wild shot. Wild shot. Because it says war. I'm thinking about me being angry at something. Would I be correct about that?
Yeah.
It's about those fucking geese.
Yeah.
I knew it was something like, and it's so funny because geese have returned at this new location that we were at.
Yeah.
And I could fuck them up, Andy. I'm just saying. Just saying. But that was my only thought.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what else we would have talked about, but I do remember that because I remember you thought it was very funny about how upset I got with talking about these geese while walking the dog.
So here's the description. And it's for those of you who know Fallout, I basically just do a spoof of the Fallout introduction. So it's war. War never changes. In the year 2023, Isaac wondered when he'd go back to his home to his wife and dog. He chose chaos when he snapped and attacked a goose. The goose and humans lived in harmony, but all of that changed when Isaac attacked. Unfortunately, there is no avatar to save us. We now live in the wake of an Armageddon.
Look, man, they're a little bit better about not getting in front of my car, but they're still there, man.
I think we also may have started talking about birds aren't real.
No, I actually saw a different video, or
Okay.
I saw a different title that in the description talks about our conspiracy with birds.
Okay.
And I can show you that one afterwards.
Okay.
But no, I did see that one. So it was already planted. It was planted early. Like, honest to God, like it was like within the first 10
For
episodes.
sure, yeah. That was, I want to keep going back to that topic, man. I want to get a follow up from the birds aren't real people, but they're not real themselves.
Look, man, I don't know.
Well, Isaac, this was a success. I loved this idea.
I also really like this.
I don't know how many we ended up doing.
Well,
I'm curious, like for the people that are listening, if they like heard the episode titles or the descriptions, if they knew at all.
Yeah. I know a lot of them. I do not remember. And, I don't know. I mean, my memory's already pretty bad, but I didn't remember any of them. But it was kind of funny reading back on them. And I thought of this too. What we could probably do as well for people who are on YouTube. I don't know if we'll be able to do this on Spotify, but I mean, you'll be able to find them pretty easily. Probably in the YouTube description, we can probably link.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If we have the YouTube episodes, we'll try to link those as well, but we'll try to just link the Spotify ones. That'd probably be the easiest thing I can think of. But, but that way too, people can actually, like, if they do want to go back and listen to them, because honestly, I probably will go back and listen to some of these,
I know.
they were pretty funny sounding.
Yeah.
But no, we know next time too that we're definitely going to be doing this again in the future.
Absolutely, and we'll try to get our producer to give us the descriptions without the titles, just so we are like even more confused.
Awesome.
So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
This has been fun.